family connection to one of pop music's biggest stars has made Nyjah Music and Zyah Rhythm one of the most closely watched young duos on America's Got Talent. Now, after earning 4 yes votes with their original song Heartbeat, the Hawaii brothers are heading deeper into season 21, and one question is getting louder. Could their next performance finally feature a song associated with their famous uncle, Bruno Mars? The answer, at least for now, is still unknown. No official announcement has confirmed that the brothers will perform a Bruno Mars song in the live shows. But the possibility has become one of the most intriguing storylines surrounding their AGT journey, especially because the brothers already have a documented musical connection with their uncle through their previous recording work. Nyjah Music and Zyah Rhythm first appeared on the season 21 audition stage with something they wanted the audience to hear on its own terms: their original song, Heartbeat. The performance was more than an audition. It was an introduction. The two teenagers, who were raised in Hawaii, stood together and delivered a performance built around harmonies, melody, and a relaxed vocal chemistry. They were not introduced primarily through their family connection. Instead, the focus was placed on their music. That decision now feels significant. After the performance, Howie Mandel immediately recognized something distinctive in their sound. "Your voice and the quality reminded me a bit of Grace," Mandel told them, referring to former AGT winner Grace VanderWaal. He added that he believed they would be memorable and that people would know their name. Sofia Vergara was equally enthusiastic, telling the brothers, "You were like heaven on that stage. We could feel you." Mel B offered a more complicated assessment. She said the duo was likable and acknowledged the strength of their vocals and harmonies, even though the song itself did not fully connect with her. Simon Cowell then delivered the simplest verdict of all: "If you've got talent, you've got talent, and you do." For judges, for yes votes, that was enough to keep the brothers moving. But their story becomes considerably more interesting when the cameras move away from the AGT stage. Nyjah Music and Zyah Rhythm are not newcomers to the professional music world. Their catalog includes original releases such as Heartbeat, Waste No Time, Be My Baby, Love Slow, Always on My Mind, and The Island Girl Is Mine. Their music is available across major streaming platforms, and Heartbeat was released as a single in June 2026. Their biggest mainstream credit before AGT came in 2025, when they performed Burning Love for Disney's live-action Lilo and Stitch soundtrack. And this is where the Bruno Mars connection becomes impossible to ignore. The soundtrack credits for Burning Love list Bruno Mars as both a guitarist and producer. The song itself was written by Dennis Linda and is a version of the Elvis Presley classic. The official music credits also identify musicians including Christopher Brody Brown, Ernst Dmyle, Emil II, and others. That means the brothers have already recorded a song with a direct professional connection to their uncle. So why would fans be wondering whether they could perform one of his own songs on AGT? Because the timing is almost perfect for a dramatic reveal. A live television performance gives the brothers a completely different opportunity from their audition. The first time, they had to establish who they were. The next stage is about proving that they can compete. And there is an important difference. An original song can demonstrate songwriting ability and individuality. A famous cover can demonstrate interpretation, stage presence, and the ability to make a familiar song feel personal. A Bruno Mars song could do all of that while adding another layer to the family story. But it could also create a serious challenge. If the brothers perform a Bruno Mars hit, viewers will inevitably compare them with one of the most recognizable voices and performers in modern pop music. That could make the performance bigger. It could also make the expectations much higher. That is why the choice of song matters. A track such as Count on Me could emphasize warmth and family connection. Talking to the Moon could create a more emotional vocal showcase. Treasure could give the brothers an opportunity to demonstrate rhythm and stage energy. A slower Bruno Mars ballad could instead put the spotlight almost entirely on their harmonies. But none of those songs has been confirmed. And that distinction is important. There is currently no verified announcement from AGT or the brothers publicly confirming which song they will perform in the next stage. Any claim that they are definitely singing a particular Bruno Mars track would go beyond the available evidence. What is confirmed is that the brothers earned their way forward. They originally received 4 yes votes after their June 9th audition, where they performed Heartbeat. Their return was then included among Simon Cowell's judges' callback selections. Cowell selected 6 acts for his callback group, including Nyjah Music and Zyah Rhythm, giving them another opportunity to prove they belonged in the live competition. That second chance is particularly revealing. The new callback format was introduced to give selected performers another opportunity before the live shows. Instead of judging some contestants only on a short audition, the judges could spend considerably more time learning about the performers and hearing them again. According to NBC Insider reporting quoted by Yahoo, Cowell said the contestants told him a lot about themselves and why they came on the show, describing those longer conversations as really, really fascinating. That matters for Nyjah and Zyah. Their audition already demonstrated vocal ability. Their callback needed to answer another question. Could they grow? The brothers entered the competition with a remarkable family story, but their challenge has always been to make the audience care about them as artists rather than simply as relatives of a superstar. That is a difficult balance. When a contestant is connected to a famous musician, the public naturally wants to know everything about that relationship. But talent shows ultimately depend on what happens under the lights. The brothers appear to understand that. Their AGT audition did not revolve around a famous family reveal. They performed Heartbeat, received feedback from the judges, and advanced because of the performance itself. Their background became part of the conversation afterward. That approach may be one of their greatest strengths. The public already knows the name Bruno Mars, but AGT viewers are still learning the names Nyjah Music and Zyah Rhythm. The competition gives them an opportunity to change that. Their Hawaii roots are another important part of the story. Local reporting from Aloha State Daily identified the pair as North Shore brothers and noted their existing audience, their streaming activity, and their previous appearance on the Lilo and Stitch soundtrack. The publication also reported that their Burning Love recording had surpassed 12 million Spotify streams at the time of its June 2026 coverage. That history suggests the brothers are not simply teenagers who walked onto AGT hoping for a lucky break. They have already been developing a musical identity. They have released songs. They have performed publicly. They have appeared in commercial and soundtrack projects. They have built an audience before stepping onto the AGT stage. Now they face a much larger test. The live competition is where the margin for error becomes smaller. Auditions are about getting a yes. Live shows are about getting people to remember you. And when the audience is voting, memorability becomes crucial. That brings the story back to the question hanging over their next performance. Will they sing one of their uncle's songs? There is a compelling argument for yes. A recognizable song could immediately grab viewers who may not know the brothers' original material. It could create an emotional family narrative without requiring the brothers to explain it. And if they rearrange the song in their own style, they could potentially turn a familiar hit into a fresh performance. But there is an equally compelling argument against it. The brothers have already spent years building their own music. Their latest releases demonstrate that they have material beyond covers. Heartbeat, in particular, allowed AGT viewers to meet them through an original composition rather than through the shadow of a famous relative. Performing another original could therefore send a powerful message. They are not trying to become the next Bruno Mars. They are trying to become Nyjah Music and Zyah Rhythm. That may be the most important storyline of all. The family connection is fascinating. The musical history is real. The production relationship is documented. But none of it guarantees a place in the final rounds. America's Got Talent does not award $1 million prize because someone has a famous uncle. The audience decides who deserves to continue. And the brothers know that. Their audition demonstrated enough to earn 4 yes votes. Their callback opportunity showed that Simon Cowell wanted another look. Their continuing presence in the competition has now placed them among the acts being watched as the live rounds approach. The next performance will therefore carry a different kind of pressure. The brothers are no longer simply introducing themselves. They are making a case. A Bruno Mars song could be the dramatic choice. An original could be the bold choice. A completely unexpected cover could be the smartest choice of all. And that uncertainty is exactly what makes the story compelling. There is also a deeper emotional dimension to their journey. The brothers have spoken about being inspired by Grace VanderWaal's AGT audition. According to reporting from Philstar Life, Zyah recalled watching Vanderwall when he was younger and said that the experience inspired him to come to the show. That detail changes the perspective. For years, AGT was something they watched. Now they are part of it. The stage that once existed on a television screen is now the stage where their own future is being decided. And that is why the next song matters. It is not simply about whether the brothers choose a hit by a famous relative. It is about what kind of artists they want America to see. If they choose a Bruno Mars song, they will have to make it their own. If they choose an original, they will have to prove that their own songwriting can stand beside the enormous expectations surrounding their family. Either way, the spotlight will be brighter. The family connection may have attracted attention, but talent is what got them through the audition. Their harmonies earned praise. Their performance earned 4 yes votes. Their callback earned them another opportunity. And their existing music career gives them a foundation that many young contestants simply do not have. Now the question is whether they can turn that foundation into a defining AGT moment. As of now, there is no official confirmation that Nyjah Music and Zyah Rhythm will perform a Bruno Mars song in the live shows. That remains speculation. What is not speculation is the musical connection already documented between the brothers and their uncle. Bruno Mars produced their Burning Love recording for Lilo and Stitch, and the soundtrack credits list him as a producer and guitarist. That makes the possibility of a Bruno Mars tribute more than a random fan theory. But it is still only a possibility. And perhaps that is exactly how it should be. Because when the brothers walk onto the AGT stage again, viewers will have one question in the back of their minds. Will they choose the familiar path? Or will they surprise everyone? Will they sing a song connected to the superstar who helped shape their musical world? Or will they step forward with music that belongs entirely to them? For Bruno Mars fans, the answer could make the performance unforgettable. For AGT fans, it could determine whether 2 talented brothers from Hawaii become one of Season 21's breakout stories. And for Nyjah and Zyah, it may be the moment when the introduction ends and the real competition begins. Whatever song they choose, one thing is already clear. Their next AGT performance will be judged on more than a famous family name. They will have to sing for the votes. They will have to connect with America. And most importantly, they will have to prove that when the music starts, the audience is not watching simply because they are Bruno Mars' nephews. They are watching because Nyjah Music and Zyah Rhythm have given them a reason to stay. That is the real test waiting under the AGT lights. And until the brothers reveal their next song, the mystery remains. Maybe it will be an original. Maybe it will be a surprising cover. Or maybe, just maybe, the opening notes of a familiar Bruno Mars classic will fill the theater, turning a family connection into one of the season's biggest television moments. For now, the song remains unconfirmed, but the anticipation is already playing.